What's up, Earthlings? Dave Smith coming to you live with another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. And what I want to talk about now, what I want to talk about, I want to talk about polluters. Gross polluters, big polluters, corporate whores, and the likes. Why do we put up with it? So, we're told 12 years to reduce our carbon footprint or irreversible consequences, right? So I want to throw this question out there. Why do we worship the rich? Why do we do it? Excuse me, I'm a little uncomfortable. I have some glasses in my pocket. Pull those out. These are the ones. Yep. Don't need them. So why do we worship the rich? I've got a list of documentaries I would love you to watch. First and foremost is a documentary called Plutocracy, and it shows how, going back to the discovery of oil, how corporations became so powerful that they could control towns. As a matter of fact, those coal companies and oil companies started the public school system, and not with a good motivation. It was to keep people as stupid as possible, to keep them working in a coal mine. And then you've heard the story of the company store. So you live in a town that was built by the coal mine. The only place you can buy anything is the company store that is run by the coal mine. And they used to pay people so little that you would have to have, a tally going at the company store. So you'd run out of money. You'd get your tally going at the company store. By the time you got paid again, you're already in debt to the company store, which is the freaking coal mine who you're working for. So, unbelievable history of corporate oppression in the U.S., in the oil and the coal industry in specific. But I never learned about this in pubic school, I didn't learn about any of this until I got interested and went back to take classes as an adult just for, shits and giggles, for information. And thank God for YouTube. You can actually find historical documentaries. One of the best, one of my favorites is Plutocracy. And now there's, I think, part 2, 3, and 4, and the prequel. But you could just type in Plutocracy to YouTube, and you will be amazed. Another great one is The Untold History of the United States, done by Oliver Stone. He produced the 10-part documentary series on Showtime, which was taken from a book that somebody wrote. So based on a book that, I forget the guy's name, I'm sorry, but then Oliver Stone turned it into a Showtime series, and it's brilliant, and it breaks down different segments of American history and teaches you what was really going on behind the scenes. Like World War II wasn't what you thought. Vietnam was not what you thought. And I'm not saying what you thought. It's not what we were told. Okay, there's been ulterior motives. So, polluters. There's a handful of people, maybe a large handful, maybe a small handful, I'm not quite sure. Handful of people. They're profiting from the extraction industry. Those people are putting all all the rest of us at risk. Not even risk. They're basically pointing a gun to our heads. I mean, that's how I look at it. Exxon is doing this. Click, 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 click. Oh, I don't know. How many? What do you got? 9 shots in there? How many more we got? I don't know. Oh, BP oil spill. Bam! There's a bullet. Exxon Valdez oil spill. Bam! There's a bullet. Just watched this horrible documentary about Chevron Texaco and their involvement in exploration for oil in Ecuador. Clear-cutting rainforest, sucking oil out, then just digging these giant pits and putting their waste. Apparently, for every gallon of oil you get, 30% is waste. So they had to have holes. They'd have a place to put all this. And Chevron and Texaco, they don't want to pay to dispose of their waste, especially when it's way over there and it's just in some brown-skinned country. I mean, come on. Could you really expect them to pay to dispose of the waste? Like, aren't they creating jobs? And no, they're creating pollution. And so they've totally toxified the rainforest. 1,200 well sites, each well site having 3 to 4 of these giant pools that were just dug into the rainforest with no lining, no nothing, just dumped their crude waste into these holes. So, what is it with our fascination with the rich, with our worshiping of the rich, even when they're killing us? Like, really, the whole they create jobs thing. I have a painting company. I create jobs. I'm not killing anybody. Why don't I get some incentives, some tax breaks? Yeah, because it doesn't work like that. I don't have the grease to oil the machines of, the machinery of government, the gears of government. That's the word I was looking for. Oil the gears of government. So apparently there are 5 lobbyists for every member of Congress. So that is how these polluter pieces of shit get away with it. And I'm wondering when, they're basically click, 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 boom. Oh, whoops, one went off. So when do we rise up and hold it right back in their face? That's what I wonder. Like, are we gonna wait till whole countries are migrating because of arid land and desertification? And I mean, we know what's coming. We've seen the hurricanes. You know what's coming. Disaster after disaster after disaster. Farmlands are going to change. So places that are good farmlands now will become desert, or they'll go underwater. And then new farmlands will develop. Well, that's great if you're part of the world elite and you can just move. Oh, I'm going to pick up my family and move them to New Zealand where, produce is off the chain. And we're going to leave California behind, which used to be the breadbasket of the world, but it's a desert now because, yeah. So when will we hold them accountable? When? Anyway, this has been Dave with another rant and another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. Peace out.